Welcome to our deep dive today. We're going to be exploring how these, you know, super smart computer programs, the large language models, are changing things up
Yeah.
for writers.
It really is fascinating how AI is becoming like a partner in this whole creative process.
Yeah.
And this new study that we're going to dive into today explores just that.
Right.
It's about how professional writers, specifically MFA students,
Oh, wow.
are using GPT 3.5 as a writing tool.
I love that they focused on emerging writers.
Yeah.
It's like we're getting a sneak peek into the future of,
Totally.
literature.
It is insightful because these MFA students, they're the ones who are going to be shaping, what literature looks like in the
Right.
years to come. And the researchers wanted to understand
Yeah.
not just how AI could be used in writing, but also like what are the needs and challenges
Right.
of these writers and how could AI help them or maybe even hinder them?
It's like they're trying to figure out if AI is a magic wand or a potential trap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell me, how did they set up this study?
Well, they had 17 MFA students, and each of them was writing a short story.
Okay.
So that's 30 stories in total.
Wow.
What's interesting is the range of genres.
Okay.
They covered from sci-fi and horror
Mm.
to literary fiction and even creative nonfiction.
Okay.
So this helps us get a broader view
Right.
of how AI is impacting all these different writing styles.
That's a great point because, you wouldn't expect AI to have the same impact on a hard-boiled detective story,
Right.
as it would on a tender coming-of-age tale.
Exactly. So to guide the process,
Yeah.
the researchers built a system where the writers first outlined the plot of their story,
Okay.
and then GPT 3.5 was used to create the first draft.
So the AI wasn't just spitting out random stories.
Right.
It was actually working with the writer's ideas.
Exactly.
Okay.
As a starting point.
Got it.
And the writers interacted with GPT 3.5 through a chat interface. And this allowed them to give the AI instructions,
Right.
either, free form
Mm-hmm.
or using these helpful templates that were provided by the system.
That sounds a lot more intuitive than I imagined.
Yeah.
It's like having a writing buddy,
Yeah.
who's always on call and never gets tired of brainstorming.
Exactly. And speaking of brainstorming, they actually chose to use GPT 3.5 over GPT-4 for this study.
Oh, why is that?
It just came down to practicality. For this type of research,
Okay.
GPT 3.5 offered a good balance of cost and speed.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
They needed something that could keep up with these,
Yeah.
creative minds without breaking the bank.
Exactly.
So what did they discover about how the writers actually used the AI during the writing process?
One of the most interesting findings
Yeah.
was that while the writers, they utilized the AI for all stages of writing, from planning,
Mm-hmm.
translating,
Yep.
to reviewing, they found it most helpful for translating and reviewing their work.
So they were using it to, refine their ideas and get feedback
Yeah.
rather than just generating entire stories
Right.
from scratch.
Yes, and that actually aligns with how a lot of writers work.
Okay.
It's not always a straight line,
Yeah.
from idea to finished product.
Right.
There's a lot of jumping back and forth
Yeah, sure.
between tasks,
Yeah.
Rewriting, refining, rethinking as they go.
I can definitely relate to that. Sometimes my best writing happens when I'm revising
Yes.
and playing with language,
Right.
not just when I'm initially getting the ideas down.
The study highlighted a writer
Yeah.
who started with the AI generating a draft,
Okay.
then switched to getting feedback on a specific scene,
Oh, wow.
and then later used it to rewrite a paragraph
With
with
it.
more vivid imagery.
Wow, they really put the AI through its paces.
Yeah,
It's like they were partners in a creative dance.
Yeah. And some of these writers were incredibly skilled at guiding that dance.
Yeah.
They became what we call prompt engineers,
Okay.
crafting very specific instructions
Yeah.
to get exactly what they needed from the AI.
That's cool.
For example, one writer asked the AI to rewrite the following text with richer and less cliched imagery,
Oh, wow.
considering the tone and aesthetics of the piece so far.
They even provided the AI with, a snippet of text
Right.
to work with.
Exactly.
That level of detail is impressive.
It really shows how writers are starting to think strategically about using AI as a tool.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just about imagery.
Eh?
The study found a link between the writer's genre and how they use the AI.
Oh, interesting.
Some writers, particularly those in science fiction or horror,
Uh-huh.
they used it a lot for world building,
Okay.
conjuring up details to make their fictional universes,
Yeah.
more believable.
So the AI was almost like a co-creator,
Yes.
helping them flesh out, like the nooks and crannies
Right.
of their imagined worlds.
Right.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
But how did the researchers measure, the AI's actual contribution
Yeah.
to the story?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
They analyzed the final stories
Yeah.
and discovered that in many cases, less than 35% of the AI's initial draft
Right.
made it into the final version.
So while the AI might have been a valuable tool,
Yeah.
it wasn't simply writing the stories for them.
Right.
The writers were very much in control.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like the AI provided the raw materials,
Yeah.
but the writers were the architects,
Right.
shaping those materials into something unique and cohesive.
Gotcha.
The researchers also noticed that the AI was more effective with smaller, more focused tasks,
Okay.
like rewriting a paragraph
Hmm.
or suggesting a character name,
Yeah.
compared to larger scale revisions, like
Uh,
changing a story's ending.
It seems like the AI was better at refining existing elements
Yeah.
than, coming up with
Right.
completely new plot twists or character arcs.
Yeah. That's what they observed.
Okay.
But of course, we need to hear from the writers themselves.
Yeah, of course.
What did they love about using the AI?
Yeah.
What drove them crazy?
Let's dive into that juicy feedback.
Okay. So, before the break, we were talking about how the AI's contribution, it varied
Right.
depending on the task.
It was really fascinating to see how those MFA students really, put the system to the test.
Yeah.
But let's get to the good stuff.
Yeah.
What did the writers actually think about working with an AI?
Well, they had a lot to say.
I bet.
The chat interface was a big hit. They loved how flexible it was,
Yeah.
allowing them to give the AI freeform instructions. And they also appreciated the templated prompts,
Yeah.
which just made it quick and easy to,
Right.
get specific types of help.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like having a customizable writing toolbox
Yeah,
at your fingertips.
exactly.
And perhaps unsurprisingly,
Yeah.
they really valued the feedback feature.
Oh, for sure.
It's like having an instant editor,
Right.
offering insights and suggestions
Yes.
on their work.
Yeah, I bet that was super helpful for those times when
Yeah.
I felt stuck. Sometimes, that fresh perspective is all you need.
Totally.
It seems like it did help, but it wasn't all,
Right.
smooth sailing.
Sure.
One thing that frustrated some writers
Yeah.
was the AI's limited control
Okay.
overtone.
Oh, interesting.
One writer even commented that the AI was fixated
Okay.
on a very saccharine and cliched tone
Wow.
when dealing with death and meaning. Commendable, perhaps,
Yeah.
but not very effective for literary fiction.
Ouch. It sounds like the AI could use a few lessons in
Yes.
subtlety and nuance. They
Definitely.
also craved more
Yeah.
randomness
Yes.
and unpredictability from the AI.
Yes. It felt, at times
Yeah.
a bit too predictable. Even a tad moralistic.
Like that friend who always gives you the safe, sensible advice,
Exactly.
even when you're craving something a little more
Yes.
daring.
That's a great analogy.
And it raises a good point, though.
Yeah.
While safety guidelines are so crucial
Absolutely.
in AI development,
Yeah.
we also need to find ways to allow for, like
Yeah.
creative risk-taking
Right.
and exploration of, potentially sensitive themes.
It's a delicate balancing act.
It is.
On one hand, you want to protect users from harmful content, but on the other hand, you don't want to stifle,
Right.
artistic expression.
Exactly. It makes you wonder
Yeah.
who ultimately decides what's,
Right.
deemed appropriate
Yeah.
in creative writing.
Yeah.
And how can we ensure that
Right.
these AI tools don't become censors?
It's a great question.
Now, before we move on, I have to ask about one more thing.
Okay.
Did this study explore whether AI could help writers
Oh, yeah.
emulate famous authors?
They did. They did.
Yeah.
Some writers experimented with prompts like,
Yeah.
can you write this in the style of Cormac McCarthy? Or rewrite the following text with imagery similar to Mary Shelley's in Frankenstein.
That's amazing.
Is.
It's like having a literary chameleon at your disposal.
Yes.
But I'm curious, how well did it actually work?
The results were mixed.
Okay.
Some writers found it, pretty helpful for tapping into a specific author's voice.
Yeah.
While others felt like the AI was just,
Yeah.
producing a superficial imitation.
So it could mimic the style,
Right.
but maybe not the soul.
Exactly.
Unfortunately.
It raises such an interesting question.
It does.
Can AI ever truly capture, the essence of
Yeah.
a writer's voice?
Right.
Or is it always going to be more like,
Yeah.
like a talented impersonator, like
Right.
hitting the notes but lacking the emotional depth?
But stepping back from the specifics
Yeah.
of this study
Yeah.
for a moment, what does it all tell us
Yeah.
about the future of writing in an age where AI
Right.
is becoming increasingly
Yeah.
sophisticated?
I mean, this study makes it clear that AI won't be replacing writers
Okay.
anytime soon.
Okay.
However, it is emerging as this powerful tool
Yeah.
that can assist with,
Yeah.
various aspects of
Huh.
the writing process, from generating ideas to
Yeah.
refining prose.
So instead of viewing AI as this, like, threat,
Yeah.
writers can embrace it as a partner,
Right.
a collaborator
Exactly.
in the creative process.
It's a crucial shift in perspective.
It is.
Instead of fearing replacement, think of it as an extension of your own
Yeah.
creative potential.
Imagine bouncing ideas off the AI,
Exactly.
getting like instant feedback on a scene,
Yes.
or even like overcoming writer's block with its help.
Exactly. Those are just some of the exciting possibilities. And
Yeah.
this technology, it could potentially democratize writing,
Right.
making it more accessible to people who,
Yeah.
might not have the time, resources, or
Mhm.
maybe even the confidence to pursue it on their own.
What a powerful idea.
Yeah.
Think about all the stories that might never be told
Right.
if people didn't have access to tools like this.
Exactly.
But as with any powerful technology,
Yes.
there are
Cool.
downsides too.
Right.
We've already talked about how, like,
Yeah.
the AI safety features
Mm-hmm.
could limit creative expression.
Yeah.
What other ethical considerations should we be aware of?
One concern is the potential for bias
Oh.
in the AI's output.
Okay, how so?
Well, AI models are trained
Yeah.
on massive amounts of data. And
Yeah.
if that data reflects existing, societal biases,
Yep.
the AI might unknowingly perpetuate those biases.
You wouldn't want an AI that, like, consistently generates stories with stereotypical characters
Right, exactly.
or plots.
Yeah.
That would be a step backward for inclusivity
Yeah.
and representation in storytelling.
We need to be mindful
Mhm.
of the data sets that
Yeah.
are used to train these models and
Mhm.
ensure that AI tools, are promoting diversity
Right.
rather than reinforcing
Yeah.
existing inequalities.
Another worry is
Yeah.
the issue of plagiarism.
Yes, of course.
If AI can mimic,
Mhm.
like, an author's style,
Yeah.
how do we ensure
Right.
that it's not just, like, copying
Yeah.
or stealing from
Exactly.
works?
That's a valid concern.
Yeah.
It seems like we need clear guidelines,
Right.
ethical frameworks
Yeah.
for AI-assisted writing, drawing a line between
Right.
inspiration
Yeah.
and outright plagiarism.
The complex issue
It is.
that will require,
Yeah.
careful consideration
Yeah.
as the technology evolves.
And then there's the question of ownership.
Ownership, you mean like who owns the copyright
Exactly.
to a story that's
Like-
co-created with AI?
Precisely. Is
Yeah.
it the writer,
Yeah.
the AI developer,
Right.
or some combination of both?
Yeah.
This is like a legal gray area that's
Yeah.
still being debated,
Yeah.
and it highlights the need for,
Mm.
greater clarity to
Yeah.
protect the rights
Mhm.
of both human creators
Yeah.
and AI developers.
It sounds like the legal system is playing catch-up
It is.
with the rapid pace of
Yeah.
AI advancement.
It underscores the importance of,
Yeah.
ongoing dialogue collaboration
Yeah.
between technologists, legal experts,
Right.
and the creative community
Sure.
to navigate these, these uncharted waters.
But let's bring it back to you, the listener.
Yeah.
Why should you care
Yeah.
about these developments in AI
Yeah.
and creative writing?
What does it all mean for someone who,
Right.
loves a good story? Or maybe even dreams of writing one themselves, whether you're a seasoned writer,
Right.
an aspiring novelist,
Yeah.
or simply a passionate reader.
Yeah.
These advancements are going to have,
Yeah.
a profound impact
Yeah.
on how stories are
Hmm.
created and consumed.
They are already shaping the literary landscape as we know it.
They are.
And understanding these trends
Yes,
will help you become a more informed
right.
reader, writer, and citizen
Yes.
in a world where AI is playing this
Yeah.
increasingly influential role.
And it's important to remember that technology is just a tool. The
Okay.
true power of storytelling
Right.
lies in, the human heart, the
Yeah.
imagination,
Yeah.
our inherent desire
Mhm.
to connect with others
Fair.
through shared experiences.
Well said. Seems like we've covered a lot of ground
We have.
in this discussion. Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into AI and creative writing.
It's been quite a journey.
It has. It really has.
Exploring how those large language models are changing the writing game.
Before we wrap up,
Yeah.
I want to circle back to the study itself.
Okay.
What were the researchers really trying to understand about how writers use AI?
They were really interested in the the needs and challenges
Right.
faced by professional writers,
Yeah.
especially those just starting out. They
Right.
wanted to see how AI could, help them
Mm.
address those needs
Go.
and potentially help overcome some of those challenges.
So could AI help emerging writers, I don't know,
Yeah.
hone their craft or, explore new styles?
Yeah.
Or even just like get those creative juices flowing?
That was definitely part of it.
Okay.
But they were also very aware
Yeah.
of the potential pitfalls
Wow.
of LLMs as writing assistants.
Right.
They wanted to observe, how those pitfalls might play out
Yeah.
in real-world writing
Mm.
and gather feedback from the writers
Okay.
on how these tools could be improved.
So it wasn't just about celebrating
Right.
the potential of AI,
Yeah.
but also acknowledging
Yeah.
its limitations.
It's crucial to remember that, AI is still in its early stages of development,
Right.
particularly when it comes to creative applications. This
Mhm.
study provided valuable insights
Yeah.
into both the possibilities and the limitations
Okay.
of AI as a creative partner.
So let's talk about the future.
Okay.
How might these findings influence the training of future AI models
Yeah.
for creative writing?
Well, the feedback from those MFA students offers a roadmap for future development.
Okay.
For instance, we could see AI models that are more adaptable to different tones and styles.
Good.
Writers want more control over the AI's voice,
Yeah.
ensuring that it aligns with their own
Right.
creative vision.
That makes sense because,
Yep.
after all, no one wants an AI that sounds like a cheesy romance novel.
Right.
When they're aiming for, gritty realism.
Exactly. Another area for improvement is addressing the issue of predictability.
Okay.
Writers crave,
Yeah.
surprise and novelty.
Right.
And right now, AI can feel a bit formulaic.
Right.
We need models that can generate, truly unexpected ideas
Right.
and break free from these predictable.
Right. More risk-taking.
Yes.
More experimentation from the AI.
Exactly.
I like the sound of that.
And on top of that, enhancing the AI's ability to understand, subtext and nuance.
So like an AI that can pick up on those subtle hints
Yes.
and layers of meaning that make
Yes, precisely.
great writing so captivating.
It's a challenging goal,
Right.
but essential if we want AI to become, a truly sophisticated
Right.
creative partner.
It seems like the key to creating, truly valuable
Yeah.
AI writing tools is finding that balance
Ah.
between technical prowess
Yeah.
and a deep understanding of
Yes.
the creative process.
We hit the nail on the head.
It's not just about building AI that can, string words together,
Right.
but AI that understands, the
Yeah.
art of storytelling,
Yes.
the power of language,
Yeah.
the complexities of human emotion.
Beautifully put. That leaves me feeling optimistic about the future of
Sure.
AI and creative writing.
Yeah.
I feel like we're on the verge of something truly revolutionary.
It's both exciting and a little daunting,
It is.
but ultimately, I believe it's a cause for celebration.
Yeah.
Storytelling is at the heart
It is.
of what makes us human.
Yeah.
And anything that helps us
Yeah.
tell better stories
Yeah.
is a gift to the world.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
And on that inspiring note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into AI and creative writing.
It's been a pleasure.
As always, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.